Okay guys, welcome to another video. I apologise for the brevity and quality of this video, but it's being filmed on a little normal stills camera due to the fact that I've got problems with my laptop, and downloading anything that's bigger or slightly more complicated doesn't seem to work. So we're trialling this in the hope that we can actually produce something. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to quickly review the Norwegian Army canvas and leather rucksack. This is the old sort of Cold War canvas and leather rucksack. You can buy them in surplus shops now for £10 or less, or more, maybe around that price anyway. And it's a really good sack. I've been trialing it now for several weeks, and I'm linking it into a series I'm doing on my blog, which is about back to basics and sort of should we say budget bushcraft, where rather than buying all the expensive bushcraft gear which made bushcraft far too commercial, we're now looking at going back to the basics, back to the stuff we used to use when we first started, stuff with a bit of character even, and this is one of those items. So let's look at the sack itself then. Okay, as you can see here, it's a canvas and leather sack. As I say, the main sack itself I reckon is about 40 litres, and it's a single compartment. There's no back pocket or no divider, so it's just a single straight compartment. On the sides you've got two side pockets, approximately 5 litres I'm guessing, and the sides of each pocket are hollow. As you can see there, I've got a machete shoved down one side so we can carry axes and various other tools. A great tool to carry down the side there would be a folded down bucksaw, or as I'm carrying there, I've got a machete down there because, again, this is something else I'm trialling with regards to the back to basics idea for the sack. On the top there we've got a leather strap so we can attach a roll mat or various other items, and overall the sack works really well. Just to give you an idea of the amount of kit we can carry in there, in this side pocket here I've got the Swiss Volcano stove. The stove itself fits perfectly into that pocket. In this pocket here I've got hexi blocks, you can tell by the square shape there, and on top of that I've got a 1 quart canteen, but it's one of the 1 quart canteens with a built-in filter that allows me to reproduce safe drinking water should I need to. Down the side of that pocket, as you can see there, I've got a Glock which is just shoved down into the hollow pocket. The Glock, again, it's another brilliant bit of kit as long as you keep it sharp. It's a compromise. It's an axe, it's a knife, possibly an entrenching tool and various other things, but again, more on that later. In the main sack then, which is the main body, I've got a down jacket at the bottom. On top of that I've got my sleeping bag rolled up. On top of my sleeping bag I've got a couple of items of clothing, a woolly hat, a flask, a woolly hat and a scarf, a little bag of possibles, a little bag containing my first aid kit, and then another bag containing my wash kit, which is in this instance toothbrush, toothpaste and some wet wipes and a towel. On top of that I've got a sack containing rations. I'm carrying enough rations in there to last me 24-48 hours. If I wanted to really stretch it, I could probably go a couple of days to a week on the rations I've got in there, but nothing major, it's just basic rations. In there also I've got a flask, just a small half a litre flask, and a couple of other little bits and pieces, basher, waterproof jacket, stuff like that. And then obviously lastly on the lid we've got the roll mat, which is secured on by those leather straps. As you can see, so it's a very basic, simple setup. Now a lot of people complain about the back straps and say it's uncomfortable to carry, so I'm just going to show you the back setup now. Okay, this is the back setup. Now you've got shoulder adjusters there, so you can adjust the angle the sack sits on your back or hangs. Okay, if you adjust that correctly, and the length of these straps, as you can see here, I find that sack sits perfectly on my back. The padded area here sits directly onto my hips, so the sack actually hangs perfectly off my back. The frame keeps the sack away from your back so you don't get that cold dry wet spot or cold wet spot, so it keeps your back nice and dry. The pad helps support the weight on your hips, and then obviously the straps take the weight on your shoulders. You do need a strong upper torso for this. It's not like a normal sack where you've got a belt that can take the weight on your hips. You do need to carry the sack on your shoulders, and to a degree using your stomach muscles, because it's your posture that's carrying the sack rather than the weight going onto your hips. But I'm 6 foot, 5 foot 11, 6 foot, and that sack sits perfectly on my back. So if you're about that size, then this sack would sit perfectly for you. For shorter or taller people, I don't know, maybe slightly different, but you'd have to try it for yourself. But personally, I think it's a fantastic little sack, and it sits on my back really, really well. And there you go, that's the basics of the sack. So I'm going to add the review onto my blog anyway. There'll be more details about it on the blog. If this downloads onto YouTube, which hopefully it will do, then I hope you enjoy it, and visit the blog and find out more.